Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to go over how to do some of these practice test questions in Excel. So I have to apologize because my voice is a little bit rough, but I just want to get this video to you, so please bear with it. Okay, so directions. This data is about the current email threads in my inbox. Let me zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. We're going to make a copy of this raw data sheet, and we're going to rename the copy clean data so we can recover our raw data if we need to. So I'm going to do right-click on the title of the sheet, and I'm going to do move or copy, and then I'll check create a copy, and then click OK. And in the copy here, I'm going to double-click on the title of that tab, or you could right-click and do rename, I think. And then I'm going to call this clean data. Some versions of Excel you might need to right-click and then do duplicate. Okay. Now we're going to format the data as a table in this clean data sheet. So I'm just going to click anywhere on the table there or the data there, and then on my home tab or my home menu, format as table, and just pick whichever one of these you like. Usually this is the correct suggestion, and you do need to check that it has headers because we have titles for these columns. Okay, so now it's formatted as a table. Clean the data by standardizing entries in each column in a reasonable manner. So this could include removing unnecessary text, changing numbers in fraction format to general format, capitalizing everything or uncapitalizing everything, and so on. So I'm just going to go through one by one and look at what's actually in these and see if I can fix anything. So the time received column here, they're all in a similar format except for two of them. This one looks like a typo, so I'm just going to fix that and put the colon instead of the quotes. Okay, and then this one, if you look up above here, it has a different format for it. This is in 24-hour time format, so you can just change the format there to match the other ones using the home tab and then the number and then the drop-down menu part. That'd be one way to do it. I think it might not actually, yeah, it actually puts it into a different format when you do that. So if you do more number formats, you should be able to find the short time format that looks like the other ones. Okay, so now it looks like the other ones. You could also use the Format Painter button if you wanted to. We never went over that in class, but I think that would also work. Okay, so now the second column, location. Let me go ahead and actually sort by this column just to make sure how many different kinds of answers I actually have. When you do that, you can also like check and uncheck to filter. You can see that there's only these two different answers, so there's not like any misspellings or anything, or different capitalizations. So I think that column is fine. All right, so the next one is type of email. I'm just going to make this wider so I can read it. Okay, so here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the drop-down menu here to see what different answers I have. So I have automated, group email, just for me, just to me, and then I have mass email. So I think the just for me and the just to me, I need to standardize those to make them the same. With group email and mass email, it's not exactly clear whether those are the same thing or different. I did intend them to be different. Mass email is like something that goes to like every single person at the university, whereas group email, I meant it to be something like a student emailed a few different professors, but not like a whole mass mailing list. Okay, so now I can see what the problems are. I'm going to go ahead and sort this and find the ones that need to be fixed. So it looks like I have a few different ways of capitalizing, and there's one cell here that uses the word for instead of to. So I'm going to change that one to 2. And then the capitalizations, I think I can do a find and replace to fix that. And I'm going to make them all lowercase because that's what the rest of the column has. Okay, so I'm going to do find and replace. So I'm going to do Control H or Command H. Oh, wait a minute. Is that not the right way? Control H. Oh, yeah, there it is. Or you might need to go in through like your home tab or your home menu and find where that's at. And then I'm going to search for the word just or maybe I'll just do a capital J and then just replace it with a lowercase j. When you're doing capitalization replacements, you do have to do match case. Check the little match case box. And then I'm just going to do replace all. Okay, and now let me check with the drop-down menu, what are the entries in this column? Yes, now I only have these 4 entries, the 4 different possibilities. Okay, so that one's done. And I'm basically just going to do the same thing in the topic column here. Okay, class, committee work, event planning, IT, news and events, personal, student, employee. These are all different, so I think if you wanted to leave it like this, it would be okay. Maybe uncapitalizing the S in student employee would be maybe a little more standard, but I don't think that's like a huge deal. I'm just gonna do that one. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then did I reply? We just have no's and yeses, so that's fine. Sender. I have a misspelling. I put a bunch of extra F's in one of these, and I have different capitalizations. Again, that's not like a huge deal, but we should probably standardize those. So let me sort this one. Oh, and I have different ways of capitalizing the same words, like lowercase f and uppercase f. So I'm gonna uncapitalize all of those. And then let me fix this one entry with the extra f's. Okay, so let me do Control H, lowercase s, or sorry, capital S to lowercase, place all, and then I'll do it with f's as well, uppercase to lowercase, place all. Okay, so those are done. Thread length, let me look at that. Those all look like just regular integers to me, so that's fine. And then num words, those all look like regular integers, so those are fine. All right, so we are done cleaning. That was number 3 here. Okay, number 5. Oh, I skipped over number 4. Oops. Number 5, add a column called estimated words in thread. So I guess I'll put this at the end here. Estimated words in thread. Okay. And then fill the column with a formula that multiplies num words by thread length. So we're going to multiply these 2 columns together here. And basically the idea is like if the email thread contains 2 emails and the number of words in one of them was 69, then we would estimate like the total word count of the whole thread is probably 2 times 69. That was my idea. Okay, so we're going to type in the formula in the first cell here, equals, and then just click on the first number, the 2, and then times with the asterisk, and then click on the second number, and you see it puts the references in there for you automatically. This little @ symbol means that you're doing it to the one specific cell in that column that is on the same row that you're typing in. So don't worry about that. Just go ahead and hit enter, boop, and there it is. Okay. And now we're going to use some formulas to calculate the min, max, range, mean, and median of num words. I didn't really give you a place to do this at, so we can just make our own place for it. I'll do it over here on the side. Okay, so I'm just going to call this, leave a gap so it doesn't become part of your green table. I'll call this num words, and then I'm going to do the min, the max, range, mean, median, and I'll just put the answers over here in these cells. So for min, the formula is equals min, min. And then I am going to, you could do it by like typing table and then using the tab to autocomplete that, bracket, scroll down to num words with your arrow keys, then tab to insert that, close bracket, and then close parentheses. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be equals min, and then I'm just using tab to like autocomplete that. And then you could just click on the column heading or the letter above the column. So click on the H. I think that should also work. Yep. So whichever way you want to do it is fine. For max, I'm going to do it the same way. Equals max, tab, click on the H. And the dirty secret of Excel is even if you don't close the parentheses, it'll still take it. So boop. Of course, you can sort this column too to like make sure these are the correct answers. All right, so the range, you start typing it and you're like, oh no, I can't find the range formula. Okay, you don't need a range formula, just do the max minus the min. So do equals, click on the max number, minus is the hyphen, click on the min, hit enter. That's your range. Mean, the formula, you start typing mean, you're like, oh no, where is the regular mean? I don't want these weird means. It's called average. Okay, and then I'm just going to click on numwords as well, again. And then lastly, median. This one is called what you think it's called. Click on the H again, hit enter, and there we go. All right, so that was number 6. Now we're going to make a pivot table that has sender for rows, type for columns, and count of type for values. Okay, so just click anywhere on your table, and we're going to do insert, pivot table, and I'm going to do this I might do this in this worksheet. You could do it in a new worksheet. I would just have to copy the directions over there. I think I'm going to do it in this worksheet for once. So for location, when you've got the cursor in there, you can actually come to somewhere in your sheet and just click a cell wherever you want it to go, and then hit OK. And it should put in that. Let me just move this. It should put it in there for you. Okay, so clicking on my pivot table. Let's see, is this enough? Kind of running out of space here. Let me make this a little skinnier. Okay, so for my pivot table, I need to use sender for rows, type for columns, and count of type for values. Okay, so sender is for rows. So I'm going to drag that under rows. And then I'm going to put type under the columns here. And then I'm also going to put type under the values. So that will become count of type. Okay, so was I supposed to do anything else there? Let me check. That was it for number 7. I see that I need to make this box a little longer so I can read it all. All right, make a stacked column chart that goes with your pivot table. Okay, so I'll click on the pivot table somewhere and then insert and then column, and then it's the stacked one. It literally should say stacked column when you hover over it. So it looks like this. Put that over here. I'll try to be more specific on the real test about like where to put this stuff. Okay, make a histogram showing thread length. So I'm going to go back to my original, maybe I'll move this back over here too. My original green table, and I'm going to make a histogram of thread length. So just select the G at the top, insert, histogram, and there it is. And do we need to change anything about it? Let's see. Nope, just make it. All of the sort of answering questions about like what the histogram means is on the other part of the test. Use formulas to calculate the 20th and 80th percentiles of num words. So I'll just add this to this list of things I did here. 20th percentile and 80th percentile. Okay, so for the formula, you're going to use equals percentile dot inc. And then for the array part, that's where you select the data, so num words. I'm not sure if it works if you select the whole thing with HH or if you need to like just do the numbers, which you can also insert by typing these references yourself, the table 1 bracket num words. Let me try it both ways and see. So you do that part and then don't close your parentheses because you have to enter a second thing. It's called an argument, these things that you put in the parentheses. So the second argument, the tooltip here just tells you K. That is actually the percentage that you want to use. So that's where we're going to put our 20. But if you put 20, you're going to get an error. What you have to actually put is 0.20, so the decimal form of the percentage, like that. Okay? And now you're getting something that could have been a number of words. And if we actually sort num words, like, yeah, that should be like about 20% of the way through. It's between 14 and 16. Okay, that looks reasonable. Now let me try doing this the other way. If I had just clicked on the H above the column here, does that actually work? Yep, that works too. Okay, great. So then for the second one, percentile.inc, Just going to be lazy and click on the H and then comma. I want the 80th percentile, so 0.8. Hit enter. And that should be like a little bit before the end of the list here. So yeah, around there. Okay. Next thing is calculate the percentile rank of an email with 100 words. So 100-word email, where would that be in this list? It'd be between these two, so looks like about most of the way through to me, maybe between 70 and 80% would be my guess. But let's actually find out. Percentile rank of 100 words. We're going to do equals percent rank dot inc. And I'm going to do for array, I'm just going to click on that H again, comma, and now that's where I put the 100 words at, the 100. And this last little tooltip here, when it has the name of the argument in brackets, that means it is an optional argument, so you do not need to enter anything for the significance. I'll just go ahead and hit enter. Okay, like I thought, it was between 70 and 80% of the way through this sorted list. So this is actually a percentage. You can leave it in decimal form like this, that's fine. You could put it in percentage format like this if you want. Either way, it's fine. Okay, and lastly, make a box plot of estimated words in thread. So just going to click on the I above that column, insert. It's in the same place as histograms, box plot, boop, there it is. Okay, so everybody should be able to get 100% on this part of the test. All right, hope this helped. See ya in class.